Hello Fanatics, I'm Dylan Phillips and let's talk about Season 2 of Netflix's Ozark. First, we'll tell you our recap of the show, followed up by our review, and then we'll finish off with telling you if it's worth the watch. Created by Bill Dubuque, Ozark follows the story of a financial planner who suddenly uproots his family from the city of Chicago to a resort town in the Missouri Ozarks when he must pay off a debt to a Mexican drug lord. So, recap time. The main story of Season 2 revolves around the Bird family as they devise a plan to appease the cartel while secretly fleeing the country in the aftermath of Dell's untimely death. Marty decides the best option is to build a casino on Jacob and Darlene Snell's land as a joint venture with the cartel to settle their differences and create a bigger empire. Unfortunately, the government has roadblocks in place that prove difficult for this expansion, prompting Wendy to befriend local benefactor Charles Wilkes, who helps her schmooze with the Missouri elite. While the Birds are content with their plan, they are constantly forced to maneuver through a mountain of obstacles as faces old and new pose problems that could jeopardize their family. Ozark's first season drew a lot of parallels to Breaking Bad, in which it was a father that was in a fish-out-of-water situation and desperately tried to save his family by building a criminal enterprise. The unique difference between these two shows is that Marty's wife Wendy also knows about the criminal dealings, unlike the protagonist of Breaking Bad, who keeps his family and business separate. At the center of this season, again, is the dynamic performances and chemistry of the two leads, Jason Bateman and Laura Linney. The partnership between these two is so complex, and yet so simple in the way that they know exactly what roles they need to fill in order to get things done. This dynamic was most recently seen on the highly successful House of Cards show, and with that show ending after this next season, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people that watched that show moved over to this one thanks to the characters and their dynamic here. Another aspect of their relationship that becomes prominent is the parallels it has with the relationship of Jacob and Darlene Snell. Aside from the two Bird parents, a few other characters stand out. Jacob and Darlene go through their own subplots in having to deal with the cartel as their new partner, and through this we see their backstory and flashbacks about them showing their power dynamic. Other returning characters in their storylines that continued to impress were the narcissistic housemate Buddy, preacher Mason and his search for his wife, Jonah's own business ventures, and Wyatt's search for the truth about his father. Again, Julia Garner steals the show as Ruth Langmore, although this time she gets a lot more to work with, and it shows the world that they actually reside in. There are also a couple of new characters that are incredibly important and help bring a new level of tension to the show. Cade Langmore is released from prison and tries to coerce his daughter Ruth into working with him in stealing money from various people in the Ozarks. Charles Wilkes develops both a professional and personal relationship with the Birds, as they try to keep him as far away from their criminal enterprise as possible. Finally, Helen Pierce, the new cartel attorney, is sent to oversee the Snell deal, and she instantly makes an impact with her devilish charm. Each of these characters are great supports in their respective storylines, but unfortunately some characters do digress and eventually became terribly uninteresting. Agent Petty and Rachel are two characters from last season that just don't fit well in the way that this story is going forward. But the biggest disappointment of this season is definitely Charlotte Bird. Last season, she seemed to be someone that was coming into her own and becoming an adult before she had to, but in this one, she just reverted to a one-dimensional complainer. Now, a lot of shows live or die in their acting, but Ozark is so much more than that. The story is a great examination of the criminal network of the southern United States and its relationship with cartels and the government. While some parts of the story are slightly foreshadowed, it is by no means predictable, as each episode has at least one jaw-dropping moment. The well-written story is rivaled by the astute attention to detail shown in the direction and cinematography. Jason Bateman directs a couple of episodes this season, and it's evident that he has a knack for storytelling, as he brings the dark, chilling, and hostile atmosphere of the Ozarks out of the screen. This is helped by some surreal cinematography that looks like it could be part of a Roger Deakins film. And I will note that there's a slight continuity error in this season in the final episode. Two characters are texting each other, and the text is different on both of their screens. That's not a huge thing, but I'm a stickler for good continuity. So, with the thoughts heard, here's our final word. This season of Ozark proves the strength of the series as it doubles down on the dark crime atmosphere it established. The smartly written script, gripping characters, and captivating performances are equally rivaled by strong direction and cinematography that all culminate in a chilling, thrilling story. From its strong emotional moments to its jaw-dropping ones, this season proves that the birds can soar, so I'm gonna say it's definitely worth the watch. And that's our recap and review of Season 2 of Ozark. If you've seen it, what did you think? And was it worth the watch? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Dylan Phillips, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Check out our latest Fanatic 5 video where we discuss the top David Spade roles. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And until next time, Fanatics, keep it real.